Pyoro speaks, NateDrake speaks, and I've got a question for you. So, good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. A rare weekend episode, but I had to bring this to your attention because there's updates that need to be discussed, and I want to talk to all y'all. So, what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. My voice has been perpetually weak since I was screaming at Lions games during the playoffs, and I throat coat tea. Not talking, good sleep. I don't know. I still feel like I'm hoarse. It doesn't sound that bad over the microphone, but to me in real life, I'm like, why do I not have a real voice for the last month? But the next month is going to be most exciting. We all expected Nintendo Direct, and now we have updates and information from two of the most reliable leakers out there. Pyoro, the bird that could. He always has everything right about the Directs. And NateDrake / Nate the Hate, the guy who seems to know a lot about everything and has great sources and is reserved until he is sure. Now, I do want to ask you a question first before we get to that, which is, look, it's no secret that the Switch is on its way out. And it's no secret that I'm really eagerly waiting for the Switch 2. And it's no secret that most of the big games have already come out for this platform. With that being said, obviously I'm covering the Switch 2. Obviously I'm covering the leaks and the rumors and the lead up and whatever else games come out between now and then, Princess Peach Showtime, Paper Mario, etc. But what are some of the main things or the main thing you'd like to see leading up to Switch 2? Obviously, until I have the system in my hands, do you want to see just live streams of whatever games are coming out for Nintendo Switch? Do you want to see reviews of smaller titles that aren't getting a lot of coverage? Do you just want to see every single Nintendo Switch 2 rumor and detail and report out there conveyed to you in my sort of hopefully fun way? What would you like to see most from the channel leading up to the Switch 2? After that, like it's set in stone. Like we covering everything Switch 2, but up until then, you know, it's been a tough time. Just, I know a lot of Nintendo YouTubers are going through this, and we're kind of just in this wait and see. This generation has been way extended, and yeah, waiting for the next big thing has kind of been stressful. With that being said, I don't know if this is going to add more or less stress to you, but Pyoro responded to someone asking if they knew anything about the next Nintendo Direct, and they said no. Now, before you go up in arms and say, oh my gosh, there's no February Direct happening, do know that Pyoro did not know about Directs until about 2 days before. That is when he started to leak his many leaks, and that is when he started to give big details. At least that's sort of been what's happened in the past. Now, there's been a lot of talk and thought about how Pyoro gets his information, and many have assumed that he has some sort of access to the YouTube backend or to Nintendo's YouTube page, in which case he's able to actually see the video before it goes live. Now, Pyoro himself has said that's not how he gets his information, but you know, how are we supposed to know? Would he really reveal if that was the way he got his information? I don't know. All I'm saying is I think it's a bit alarming, but not really all that much alarming. Pyoro just might not know about this Direct. That's possible. They've had a 100% hit rate, but there's a chance Nintendo has locked down after seeing their recent presentations leaked. Or Pyoro just hasn't heard about it yet because we're not close enough to it. Now, let's double down and talk about what Nate the Hate, NateDrake, has said, which is that he knows there's a Direct of some sort coming. He knows the format. He just doesn't know the date. Now, that has sparked even worse discourse, which is, what if this is a Nintendo Direct Mini? The fearful Mini. The last Mini was in June of 2022. It was a partner showcase, and it was part of a very strange summer where Nintendo had a Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Direct, a Splatoon 3 Direct, and a partner Mini, all kind of spread out and equating to one big Direct. They did things in a very strange fashion, and thankfully, they did not go back to that strange fashion in 2023. Last year, they returned to their normal June Direct, and they haven't had a partner Mini since. They haven't had any sort of Mini since, and I just don't see them resorting to a Mini now, and here is why. Yes, I do find it odd that NateDrake is saying he knows the format but not the date. That seems suspicious to get people to worry that it is some sort of Mini, but one, NateDrake isn't a fan of people reporting everything they read and hear online. He isn't a fan of people running with everything they say, and I do wonder if him saying that he knows the format is almost a way to goad people into reporting, oh my gosh, it's a Nintendo Direct Mini. You really probably shouldn't fall for that. Also, because if Nintendo was going to do a Direct Mini, why would they have blown so much of their stuff already? and not in the capacity of a Nintendo Direct proper like we saw with Splatoon 3 and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 back in 2022, but rather Twitter drops announcing DLC, demos, and more. Wouldn't it make sense if Nintendo was light on content for them to save that and group it all together? Or you could assume that they're light on content and they need to get first-party stuff out of the way because it is indeed a partner showcase. But here's why I'll tell you it's not a partner showcase. Nintendo has games that need dates in the upcoming months. Once Princess Peach Showtime arrives, we don't know when anything is coming, and Nintendo typically does not like to leave it that way. If they'd already confirmed a date or two, I'd say, well, maybe they're just really light, but they've confirmed no dates. We don't know when Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is coming out, we don't know when Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door is coming out, we don't know any other titles. A partner showcase would not be sufficient to supply information going forward for Nintendo after February and March, and we do know that there is an investors call where investors will want to know, like, what's coming? What's going on? I think you can safely toss out a partner showcase, and I really don't think a Direct Mini fits. Now remember, a Direct Mini is something that's uploaded and then made live. It's not live streamed, it's not premiered, it's just like, boom, you can scrub through. To me, if that was the case, Pyoro would know more about it, so I still feel like we are in the zone for a Nintendo Direct. And if you go to Bill Coon's comments where he said he'll be playing a game he's very eager for in less than 15 days back on January 26th, that would line up with next week being the Direct week. And we know Nintendo has used the first full week of February the past 2 years for their early year presentation. Are they going to have one? Are they not? It really seems like they will. Now, there's a slight chance that maybe the confusion comes from them grouping game announcements and a hardware reveal together. I feel like this is incredibly unlikely and not something that Nintendo would do. Although I will say that given their desire to have a smooth transition and given Furukawa's business aptitude, maybe they are going to try something different. Just because they revealed the Switch in its own separate event, and just because they dropped trailers for the Lite and the OLED separate from any Direct, that doesn't mean for the next big hardware reveal, which is honestly 5 times as important as any Switch Lite or Switch OLED, and maybe even more, that they aren't going to try a new pattern. Maybe Nintendo knows that the Directs attract a ton of eyeballs, and they do want to announce it alongside it. Perhaps they've got games that are going to release cross-gen like Metroid Prime 4 and a new Donkey Kong, and they want a place to happily announce both of them. It seems unlikely, but maybe that is part of the confusion on Pyoro and NateDrake's part. The other possibility is Nintendo just got smart. They've locked down their sources more, they've reduced information leakage, and they found a way to keep the Direct under wraps. Honestly, that's the best of all scenarios because then that means nothing is spoiled, nothing is leaked, and we still get our big show. But I would put the worry meter at like 10%. I do not think Pyoro not hearing anything yet is much to worry about, and NateDrake's format announcement is peculiar, but knowing him and knowing how Nintendo has operated in the past, and like I said, their history, what games they need to talk about, what things need dated, what things don't need dated, what they've already revealed, it seems very unlikely that a mini would take place, and a partner showcase to me is out of the question. I guess the only other option would be an indie world, but that sort of doesn't make any sense either. That would line up, I guess, with Bill Coon talking about Penny's Big Breakaway shadow dropping. It would also line up with the recent Pepper Grinder demo dropped on Steam despite no release date. It could highlight Silk Song finally, but then what do we do about first-party titles that are releasing in the next few months? Look, we're a month out from Princess Peach Showtime, we are a few weeks away from Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and then the schedule is bare. I know Nintendo has flirted with empty calendars in the past, but given the investor call's imminent dates, I don't think they're going to mess around with that too much. I still am predicting a heavy amount on the Nintendo Direct being next Wednesday, February 7th. After that would be February 14th. Valentine's Day feels weird. It's right before Side Order and Mario vs. Donkey Kong. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I still think the Marbleworks maze leads to February 7th, but I'll keep you posted if we hear anything else. I just want to update you on Pyoro and NateDrake because I know a lot of you are probably waiting to hear what they have to say about the Direct. In a way, maybe this is a crazy Direct. Maybe we are going to get Metroid Prime 4, new Donkey Kong, and more, and maybe that's why nobody knows about it, because Nintendo is keeping this thing locked down. That is my hope, at least, and I am starting to get really geeked for a new Direct, the first of 2024, and the last of the Switch era. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Any other theories out there? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? And let me know what you want to see on the channel leading up to Switch 2. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you lots. Thanks again. SwitchForce out.